guys, it's Tiff back with another mini mix media Monday. I hope you're doing fabulous this end of April. And I am going to go right into this junk journal that we've made I feel like many weeks ago. I've been working in this. I'm going in with my Oohoo glue stick because, as you know, living in South Alabama, the humidity is real. So the Oohoo glue stick is my preferred method to gluing down things. And I'm just using some dress pattern that I have picked up around the way. You know how we do. We just grab little bits and bobs. Can't remember exactly where they came from. That is a vintage envelope piece of paper. And if you hear that, that is my dog breathing very heavy right now. They always want to come and say hey to you guys. And so I just glued that vintage envelope down, going in with my pencil and just making some quick, brisk marks and scribbles because that's how I roll. Why else? And then I'm going in with that little piece of like, it's part of that pattern. It's like the kind of the paper piece that gives you the instructions in the inside. And I'm just gluing that down as well. Because this is older, it is pretty fragile. So just be aware of that when you're using vintage papers. And I'm going in now here. This is a piece of an old recipe. So if it's old and it has a little bit of color, I love it. Can't help it. Then I'm going in with Deco Arts Media Gesso. This is my first time using this, and it is deliciously smooth. So Liquitex Basic is what I typically use, and it is a little on the gritty side, in my opinion. I will say using this, it went on like butter. And I'm going in with my palette knife, of course. And now I have picked up all these little vintage wooden spools. And I'm just taking some of that old thread and I'm just kind of embedding it into that thread there. And then I'm going in with the gel medium by Deco Arts as well. And I'm going to kind of smush it, for lack of a better word. I'm going to smush it in there and kind of embed that thread into the background. I thought it would just give us a little interesting texture to kind of work with. And now I'm going in with my Happilywego. This was a limited edition. This was vintage blue jeans, I think. This was a special edition watercolor that Erin had. Happilywego has amazing watercolors, so you should definitely check her watercolors out. I'll link it below. And I just love that dreamy turquoise, aqua turquoise, you know, that color that we all just love right now. It kind of reminds me of the ocean as well, so. Alright, and now I'm going to go in with some nickel azo gold, and that's really a lot that I plopped down there because this is Golden's liquid fluid acrylics, and it just kind of has a great contrast between the turquoise greenish color that we put down and then that just burnt sienna almost color. With the nickel azo gold. I just love how those play well together and kind of almost bring some agey look. Now you'll see here how the liquid that liquid acrylic kind of dries onto the non-gessoed versus gessoed surface. I love that. That's why I go over it with a palette knife, guys, so that it's not one fluid consistency like it would be with a brush. And I'm going in here, I just won a eBay lot of vintage photos. And so I'm going in here and I'm just kind of figuring out, grabbing one or two and going to kind of try them on and see which one I really like. And I think the house is going to win. And so I love the torn edge opposed to the really hard line. So I'm going to tear that off. And that's just a personal preference. No, now you know last week how the video kind of cut off for me? Well, I'm going to show you how I typically quote unquote embed things into the background. so that it looks more fluid rather than just sticking something down. And then it appeared to me that there was some handwriting about that place, and I can't remember it right now. I want to say it was in Minnesota maybe. And I'm going in with the gel medium here. And I really don't know if it was the best adhesive or not for the back of the vintage photo, but it does end up working. I had to do a little bit of work, but it does end up kind of going into the background. I'm going to hold it here a few seconds just to make sure it is nice and glued. And Deco Arts with their media line, this is also Deco Arts. This is Andy Skinner. He has a line of stencils, and this one is called Shedded. It's kind of like a snakeskin, I guess. And so I'm going in here with some masking tape because, well, everything is better with a little masking tape. And I'm just kind of blocking out some of the places where I see blocks of color. I'm going to go in and stick a piece of that. And now I'm going in with the white gesso. I kind of contemplated if I should grab something else or if I should go, and that's a stencil plaid brush. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe my friend Michelle maybe, or maybe it was somebody else. I can't remember who sent me that in some Happy Mail. You guys are always sending me amazing things. Thanks so much. I love trying stuff out, so. And then I'm just going in and adding some pattern there. And it just takes a little bit. Goes a long way, right? And I want you to just notice how I went over the vintage photo with a little bit of that stenciling. So kind of my thought process is anytime that you take part of your background and you bring it over your focal or your collage elements, it kind of makes them blend in. And now I'm going in with, this sandpaper was really a little bit too fine for this, but it's all I had close by. And I'm just kind of roughing this up. You'll see I'll pull it and I'll make some like creases in it so I can make it do a little bit more vintagey. And so I'm just kind of pulling it up just a little bit to make a crease so I can add a little bit of texture into the background. I have I'm showing you here, I have come in love with sandpaper. So I would play around with the roughness of the sandpaper and see what you like. And now again, I'm just trying on pieces to see what I like and what I don't. And kind of getting a feel for it. And I am going to try here. This is a vintage envelope with a letter. And I'm going to cut it and try to see if I like the way a circle or an oval looks over the focal, or if I don't. The only way I know to really know what you like and what you don't like is to try it. And I think that is part of art. I don't mind trying anything, and sometimes it turns out really awesome and sometimes it doesn't. And I didn't really care for it, so I just kind of changed my mind and said, okay, we'll go with Crackle Paste because Crackle Paste is awesome. And this is the white Deco Arts Crackle Paste. I've used it so many times, but I just love to randomly put it around the page, and it kind of makes it look like peeled paint. So it kind of goes with the vintagey theme that we have going on with this one, right? And so now I have decided to go in with some masking tape, which is one of the things that I love to do. I like to write on masking tape or type on masking tape or stamp on masking tape. If it has masking tape, I'm down with it. And in my handwriting, and why did I not bring this in here so I could tell y'all what it says? Love is Oh my word. Love is the foundation, I think is what I wrote. The foundation, the house, I was kind of going with that. So if we had more love in the world, things will be a lot better than they are today. So I just thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful Monday. I hope that this springboards your week, and I hope you have an amazing time. Until next time, don't forget to hit the subscribe, share with your friends, and leave me a comment.